ND filters.
Whatever these are called, yeah, Vin.
And I did just use I did just use an ND16 in the last clip when I was getting the package from the door because it was so bright. So the purpose of these ND filters, let me get that out first. They're neutral density filters. So what an ND filter is gonna do, it's gonna reduce the amount of light that gets taken in by the camera instead of me having to fix the ISO, the exposure, the aperture, whatever you guys wanna, whatever the settings are that you have to change to mess with the brightness and the exposure. It's gonna leave me with more freedom to actually use my settings the way I want them, the way I want to, instead of bumping them up and losing image quality because I'm bumping up the ISO, the exposure to the point where the image has noise or the sky is shot out or something, you know? They're basically like sunglasses for your camera. That's a good way to explain it. As you can see, they have 5 stops, so the ND that would let the most amount of light in, for example, is this ND8 right here. So this is gonna let the most amount of light in out of all the ND filters that I just got. Alright, so let's get to the CPL filter. CP means circular polarizer, and it's basically just gonna get rid of a bunch of reflections and glares that are on things that you have. So say you're outside during the day and you're shooting the water and the water has like a glare or a reflection. You're gonna wanna take this CPL filter and put it on because that's gonna really reduce the glare and the reflections that you get with on shiny objects, or if you're recording the water, the CPL is going to get rid of that.
All right, y'all, so we're back from using the CPLs, and I really like them. Actually, you could really tell a difference, especially if you're using the camera in manual mode instead of having auto exposure on, because like when you walk through different lightings, obviously with auto exposure, it's gonna get dimmer or darker to try to adjust to the brightness of your area, wherever your surroundings are. But with these, you can keep it in manual mode. And the good thing about that is you don't have those fluctuations of the exposure that will cause your shot. It just won't look as good as possible. It just won't look professional, especially if you're going for that cinematic look. It definitely won't be good. But as soon as you apply these ND filters on, now I will say, as soon as you apply these ND filters on, you will see a difference, especially in bright light situations, especially. But I will say one thing is, if you're in a bright sunny day like I just was, I wouldn't use anything below an ND32, just because I felt that the sky was still getting blown out. The ND8 or the ND16, the sky was still blown out and the picture was still it was still too bright a little bit. So I went with a 32 and above, and I really seen that the picture came out much better. Well, alright, so once it really got dark, I did put on the ND128, and that is the highest one I have so far. I don't know if they go even higher, maybe 256. I don't know if they work like gigabytes. I tried the 128, and that really pushed it to the limit, keeping it at a good exposure level and having the sky not too dark and the area wasn't too dark as well. So overall, I think this is definitely worth it if you're going for like that cinematic feel, or you want to just have some crisp footage without any fluctuations of exposure. I definitely would recommend the ND filter because they're just gonna improve the quality of your videos, honestly. Like even right now, I'm using an ND filter. I'm using the ND8, by the way. I just took that off. You see how much brighter it just got, right? But when I put it back on, shaded sunglasses for my camera, so it's like you see that background light it was really just poofed up and blurry, and now that's, I mean, look at it now, it's pretty good. So yeah, these are the Osmo Pocket 3 ND filters.